Let's have fun.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that sounds great. All right. So, yeah, welcome everyone back to the show. I'm very excited to be joined by Cristiana Blasutta. I hope I've said that well enough. You're a life coach and a health coach, and you have an incredible deck of cards that you have designed, which I'm very excited to get into as well. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited too. And you pronounce my name really well.
Thank you. So you're joining us today from Spain. You're based in Spain.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, we're currently in Spain, but I'm originally from Italy. I lived in the US for 12 years in the Seattle area.
Hmm.
So I really like traveling around, and luckily my husband feels the same, and we both can have the luxury to be able to work from anywhere in the world. So right now we're having this adventure with our two kids, and it's gorgeous because after the rain in Seattle, I really needed the sun, and there's plenty here, so it's awesome.
Beautiful. Yeah. What a gorgeous place in the world to be working from. And so with your coaching business, what actually led you into that? Like how did you at what point did you know in your heart that that was what you wanted to do?
It was a really nice discovery for me. I was in the US. I was living in the US. I just had my son,
Hmm.
first son. So it was 2009, 2010. And
Hmm.
at the time, I was working in Microsoft, and I never liked the 9 to 5 job.
Hmm.
Even when I was, oh, I don't want to do that. And then I went to do a hike with a really good friend that was working Microsoft as well, and she started telling me that they had a coach that went to coach the team, and she
Hmm.
told me it was really beautiful. And then she said, I think that you would be an amazing coach. And I was, well, thank you, but I don't even know what a coach is. Because in Italy at the time, and I moved recently there.
Mm.
And in Italy, they didn't know what coaching was at the time. So I didn't know.
Mm.
And the way she explained it to me, when she talked to me about that, I started being so excited. I started feeling, oh my gosh, I lit up, and I went home, and I went and I looked for a school, and I signed up right away that evening. Because this is what
Wow.
I'm meant to do. I knew every cell in my body was, this is it. Because it was something that I intuitively did all of my life.
Yeah.
And then I was, yes, yes, finally. And then I studied. So I took my course certification. And then I wanted also to get the health certification bit because
Hmm.
I'm always been fascinated by nutrition. And I think that really health is our wealth. Like Tony Robbins
Yeah.
says, it's really true, because if you're not healthy, you cannot do anything, right? So I
You need
added
that
that.
number one, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I added that piece, and I will be forever grateful to my friend that told me that day that I would be an amazing coach, because I love coaching and really is my passion, and I never
Mm.
stopped since then, and I
So
think I will never stop.
that is awesome, and it's so incredible that you knew so strongly and you did decided to do it that day. Like it must have really, become very
Yeah,
clear for you. And how did you know?
yeah.
Like you just knew, like you already had obviously a good relationship with yourself to know that it just made you feel good.
So I think that intuition has always been a big part of my life. Even when I was little,
Mm.
I knew it in my body. And it was, if it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, it's very clear that it's a no. And I always followed it. So, uh, and actually the time that I didn't follow it, it didn't go well. So I learned very, very early on that I needed to trust myself, and that they really, I said, oh, this is it. I had goosebumps all over my body. When I have goosebumps, I know that it's the
Yeah.
right thing for me. And of course, it was something new. I didn't really know, but I was, yes, this is it. And of course, then, there are other things that are not, I mean, coaching is the thing that I love, but then I had to learn how to run a business. That's not the part that my intuition really likes so much, right? But I knew, and I always follow my intuition. It's a
Yeah.
big, big part of the decision making in my life. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's so,
And also my coaching. Yes.
yeah. And you're lucky to have such a strong internal connection to your guidance system from so early on, because it can take time and that you have learned to trust it quickly. I think I've danced back and forth between trusting it and then just ignoring it at times, and then, oh, hang on. Lesson learned, but then I forget. So,
Uh,
yeah.
for me, it's something that is really my nature. So it's like I learned how to swim very early, and I did swimming competitions. So maybe then I talk with people that don't know how to swim, and they say, "Oh, the breathing part in the swimming is difficult," and I'm like, I cannot understand that, because this is part of what I do in the water. For me, being in the water is even better than being on earth sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's part of me. I don't understand, and the intuition is the same thing. So for me, it's like it's no
Mm,
brainer, really. It's like, yeah.
yeah.
And but then in my coaching, yes, the
Mm,
part that I love the most is really guiding people to fall in love with their intuition, to lean into their intuition, to trust to their intuition. And of course, sometimes I told you, sometimes I don't, sometimes I didn't follow my intuition, but every time I don't do it, it's like, yes. So I have really strong reminders that, yeah, this is it. You don't even have to question it, right? So it's my
yeah.
name. I know that I'm lucky, and sometimes also it means that I need to bring more balance in my life, and also sometimes listen to this part because
Yeah.
I tend to be very unbalanced sometimes. So that's what maybe I need to learn more.
Mm. To have that connection with the water, because the water is very much, it holds like a metaphysical memory, but it's also very much symbolic of our emotions. So if you love being in the water so much, then you may be very attuned to your emotionality and your feeling self, which is a big
Oh,
part
yeah.
of the intuition, right? And if you understand your feeling self so well, then that is a really great thing that you can impart and help other people with, to understand their feelings and their
Yeah,
emotions. Would you say?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And this is a big part of not just my coaching, but my personal life. I really,
Mm.
uh, what I say is that I go to the bottom line always in
Uh-huh.
conversation. I love to have deep conversation where we just go down and we really understand what is the emotion. Yeah,
Hmm.
you are right. And I love the water so much that I need to live by the water. And I had my kids in the water. So I had water babies.
Wow.
So
Oh,
you have
you're
to,
lucky.
yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I had wanted to have a water birth, but then my water broke and they wanted me to be on a drip to have my child, and I couldn't do that. I was like, I can't be connected to any kind of, have any sort of things in my arm. So I chose not to be in the water, but I would have loved to. That was part of my birth plan. So
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
love that. And they say
yeah.
dolphins always, if there's a pregnant person, they don't let the pregnant person swim in the group with the dolphins, because the dolphin just wants to be with the person with the baby.
Oh, I did.
There's this, yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful connection with the water, and obviously because we're in water as babies, yeah, it's very beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, and I love dolphins as well. So,
yeah, me too.
but you're true that there is a strong connection with emotions, so I'm not afraid of the emotions there. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that's
because
what
it's
I
something that we're culturally conditioned to reject, or to like it's a weakness, or it's not. In society, they kind of teach to like lean away from them rather than into them, and they are such an important part of guiding us and indicating what's going on inside. So the more connected you are to those, the more powerful you are, really, isn't it? So you're lucky
they
to
have
have that gift. Yeah.
emotions give us so many messages, and if we don't connect with them,
Mm.
then we don't progress. I think that that's why we get stuck in so many ways, because we analyze everything normally. This is, I'm talking in general,
Mm.
but we're prone to just be very logical and analyze everything. But if we are in our emotions, it means that we are in our body, and we forget so much about being in our body, and it would be
Mm.
so much easier to get unstuck if we use this part.
Yeah. Agreed. Because that's what gets blocked in the first place, isn't it? It's the emotions that
Yeah.
become physical part of us if we hold on to them,
Yeah.
and we don't let them flow. Then we get blocked, and then it can
Yeah.
manifest to all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with
So
headache, we need to ask what's going on instead
yeah,
of taking the pill. Right.
yeah.
So yeah.
There's always an
But
underlying thing, isn't it?
it's the difficult part to get in touch with your emotions, because then you get in touch with parts of yourself that you don't want to see so much sometimes, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
the difficult thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wrote something to my client yesterday, said in the shadows there are so many treasures. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to be willing to go there and see. But until we are not willing to really feel the emotions, right? Because we're like, I don't want to, I have pain. I don't want to feel pain, or I'm afraid. I
Mm.
don't want to feel fear. But there are so many amazing things about ourselves in that emotion that I understand it's not easy. It's not fun, not most of the time. But after we deal with that, then we know
Mm.
a little bit more about ourselves, and we know also we can get the signs, right? The intuition comes as I start feeling this. What does it mean? That's
Uh-huh.
also the connection with your intuition. Your intuition is telling you way in advance what's going to happen, right? And if you
Mm.
start getting in touch with your emotion and understanding, because everyone has a different way of experiencing the intuitions. You can feel it in your body, you can feel it, so you can feel different things, but you need to understand your language, that language,
Mm.
and then that's where the treasure really is.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's transforming all the shadow aspects to turn them into treasures, to turn them into powers, because you feel like they're weaknesses or parts that you don't want to look at sometimes. But if you're brave enough to face those parts that have been rejected, or you know blocked off from ourselves, the more we can integrate them back in, then we can feel better, and we can use what we've learned through healing those parts of ourselves to it heals other people too, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I just think that you being an artist understand this at a deeper level, because with your colors I think that you do the same, right? You get
Mm-hmm.
in touch with the emotions of the colors, and then you create something really amazing in your canva. And that's kind of what we do, right? If we just, I don't know, maybe you want to bring some yellow, and you're like, I don't want to bring it, but I feel that I need to put it in the canva.
Yeah.
And then and when you mix it with some other colors, at the end you're like, oh, the results is amazing, right? And it's what we do with emotions. So like, okay, let's connect with fear. And fear is the emotions that nobody wants to feel, right? But I'm like, gosh, we need to use fear. right?
Yeah, well, we
And
have to connect with it, and it has to become conscious, and then it needs to be discharged in some way, doesn't it? So whether we release it onto a canvas or we let it go in some other way, with tears or whatever it is, to get it out of the body, sometimes exercise.
yes, absolutely. But then it means that we can, that's the empowering part, right? Because
Mm,
then we can use everything, not just our mind. We can use our body, we use our spirit, and we really, really connect deeply. And then we are able to create the life that we want and that we feel that we are meant to, because we are taking everything, we're using
mm.
every part of ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'd love to know how your client sessions work. I guess clients would come to you in different ways, but how do you help them to help themselves?
Yeah. So, you know that in coaching, the base of the coaching is that you're not fixing anyone, right? So I don't have the answers. I just need to guide my clients
Mhm.
to get to their place where, oh, okay, this is my answer. And then it's like, can I accept it? Do I want to do something with it? And let's work on that. So my sessions are really, I I like to think about Socrates and the, I don't know in English, mayautica. So just taking out, helping my clients taking out what is inside them. And of course, my sessions are very intuitive, because sometimes I I don't really hear, but when we are having the coaching conversation, I write particular words.
Mhm.
Sometimes my client is telling me something, and I write a word most of the time, and then I offer this word to my clients. And 99% of the time, if not 100% of the time, that word is really what helps them see the bottom line, right? To reach the root of the issue that they were not being able to see by themselves. So I
Mm.
receive these messages that are like, okay, let's just go, allow them to go deeper and deeper.
Mhm.
And sometimes sessions are really intense and difficult, because I'm like, whoa, this is what came up for me. And they're like, oh my God, I haven't thought about that, but this is it. Like, this is the
Ah.
thing that is holding me back, or this is the thing that, oh my God. And then we go from there, and we have this beautiful conversation session. And at the very end of the session, I draw a card for them always.
Mm.
And the coaching cards that I design, and you were saying in the beginning, uh, those are questions. So again, I don't give them an answer, because it is not my role. My role is really
Mm.
uh, helping them move forward. And the big part is really getting in touch with the deeper parts of themselves. And at the
Mm.
end, the nice part is that always the card that comes out is related to what we were talking about during the session. So they're like, every time it's like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Because then is the part that they have to work on in between
Mhm.
session.
Mm.
Uh, it allow them to bring them deeper in the understanding,
Mm.
in the process. You know, coaching is tough work. So
I bet, and it can't all, you can't arrive where at what you're wanting to work through always straight away. So it's sort of like
yeah,
any personal change, it requires some discipline and a bit of personal decision to change and be open to asking those questions and to being curious, because I mean,
yeah,
that's what I love about asking questions, and that's what I can't wait to get into the cards with you
yeah,
as well, because being curious is so important in life, and it's what leads us. Somebody once said, I'm not sure who it was, but that your life is only as interesting as the questions that you're willing to ask about it.
it's very
Uh,
true.
so
Yeah.
I think there's great power in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the power is really asking yourself the right question, because sometimes we go in the direction that is not the one that really is serving us, because we ask
Mm.
ourselves, I won't say the wrong question, but we don't ask a deeper enough question,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
So with coaching and with the cars, I feel that really the right question at the right moment is there, and that
Mm-hmm.
allows to go further in the process. And it's really, coaching is really a process. I mean, our life is a process, right? We
Yeah.
keep changing, we keep growing, but sometimes not just in the coaching life itself, we found a lot of resistance. That's why we get stuck. That's the resistant part, right?
Mm-hmm.
But by
Mm-hmm.
asking questions and being really willing to sit with the question, to ponder it, to journal it, to just let it be in the back of your mind, and not just in the mind, just allow it to go in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's the piece I think is really important. Then we're like, oh, I see. I see now. And then, of
Mm.
course, there is the process of, do I want to act on it or not? Because sometimes we can see things, but maybe we're not ready, right? So,
Mm.
and the coaching part is really guiding the person through the process of, okay, we have the resistance. Let's look at the resistance. What is it? And then just go past the resistance, and then allow to ask a different question. Just move forward. So, yeah.
Mm. Fascinating. Yeah, it sounds really cool how your process. So when you're writing and you're getting these intuitive hits, where is that coming from? Is it it's your intuition? Do you feel like you have a team of like guides as well, or like do you feel like you're channeling, or how does it work for you?
So I feel that, I mean, I don't know if I have a team. I don't know. I'm not that connected yet. And I have really good friends that are very, very connected. You know, one of them, Donna, right?
Yeah.
But I feel that it's I think it's a connection really with source,
Mm-hmm.
because then maybe at the end of the session I don't really remember so much. So it's something that just come, and I really need always to have a pen and paper, and I just write. So I don't know, because when I explain to you, I don't hear anything. I just write
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
words and
Well,
things.
it sounds like channeling to me, especially if you don't remember what you're writing, it's like that sort of downloads, from.
And that was the questions of my coaching card deck, where I think a download, because I just started writing in the sticky notes, one after the other. I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and then I realized what's going on here. So
Yeah.
I think that they were download. Yes, I cannot clearly tell you what's going on. It just
Yeah.
happens. And also, for instance, when I go into places, I just feel the energy of the place, right? When
Mm.
we bought a house, the and when we came into the house, I know that this was the house that we were meant to live in. Or yeah. So I have some inputs, right? And since I was able to elaborate and understand these inputs since I was little,
Mm.
I don't question myself. I just know. It's like, how do you know? I say so many things to my husband. He's like, how do you know? I don't know. I just know. I know. And I don't question, because I know that it's true for me. And in that
Yeah,
moment, right? It doesn't have to be a universal truth. In that moment, it's true for me. Right.
absolutely. And if it comes from the heart, then there's some sort of clear knowingness that can come
Yeah.
through, when you're in an alignment, then
Yeah.
you don't have the distortions of the mind, it's that inner truth coming
Yeah.
through you.
Yeah. It's the same thing, when you know someone, sometimes you have the feeling, oh, I known you forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you have that connection, immediate connection, and then you create this deep uh, friendship. And with some other people, it doesn't happen. I think it's the same thing, because we we're energy, so we feel sometimes we are energy that we can just explode, and sometimes we're like we are going to two separate ways, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I think also that this allowed me to never be a people pleaser, because I was really sure, even when I was little, this is okay for me. This is not. So
Mhm.
uh,
Very cool. Very cool. So, I guess questioning and your style of coaching, is that what led you to creating the cards? How did they come about?
so the story is pretty funny, actually, because it started. I had an argument with my husband one afternoon.
Uh-huh.
I don't even remember about what it was, but I needed to just clear my mind after the argument, and I just went into my office. And I always have color pencil and things like that in my office. I love to draw and to use. I mean, I'm not an artist, but I
Of
like
course you're
to
an
use fun.
artist. Everyone's an
I
artist.
mean, not like you, but I always need pen, pencils, everything that can go into paper. And
Mm,
when I'm a little bit stressed, I go and I just draw and do
mhm,
things. And that day I was, okay, I need to take some time. And my husband was taking some time for himself, just need to clear our minds. And I went to my office, and I always have sticky notes too. And I just started writing. And I just wrote many, many things. And then I
uh-huh,
had a big blackboard, and I just put them there. I said, oh, there are many. There are many. So I put them there. And at the end, they were all questions, right?
mhm,
I don't know where they came from. I just wrote these questions, and I put them on, and I counted them, and there were 52. And I was, hmm, hmm, 52. Hmm, 52. And then, I started saying, one question a week, right?
mhm.
And then I got kind of excited. I said, oh, this is something that could be
Oh, because it's
really,
52 weeks of the year. Is that right?
yeah, 52 weeks. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then I was able to close the argument with my husband. I was so excited. Look what happened. And then with my husband, we decided to just put this and create some cards, fun cards. And
Mhm.
we create a simple pattern. And then I started using them with myself. So I went through questions, and it was really mind blowing what would come out. And then I started bringing them to parties with my friends, and they were, "Oh, what are these?" And the right question would come out. And then I started using them with my clients. And then I found also a good friend that is a visual communicator designer, and he fell in love with the project. And it was, I really want to create something that these cards are really something. And
Mm.
he helped me with the logo, and he drew for every, and show you, for every
I
question
just
there
tilted a
is
bit.
a,
Yep. Ah, yeah.
yeah. So he hand drew 52 keys, different keys with different
Mhm.
inspirations, because really what questions are keys to enter into your soul, right?
They're an unlock.
uh, that to unlock your life, really. So and since then I really use them consistently with my clients.
Mm.
And if a friend calls me and says, I'm going through this, I'm struggling, I draw a card for them.
Beautiful.
And I
Beautiful.
infuse them with Reiki too. And so but really it's like, even though I am the one that is drawing the card for my clients, because I do sessions online, but then I ask them, which hand do you want me to use? And so but always the right question comes out. But that's how my cards came to to
Yeah.
the world.
Beautiful. And I mean, after I spoke to you as well, I drive my son to school every day. When we go to school, I drive him along the same roads. And on the way back, I saw a sign outside of a house, and it had an ornate drawn key. I think it was a property management company or something. I'd never seen that sign, but it had a key, like a fancy key, just like
Amazing.
your keys. And that was like the day after I spoke to you, and I thought, it's a sign. And it was actually a sign in more ways
Was,
than one. But also, doesn't a piano have 52 keys?
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it's like a fantastic instrument you have there.
Yes. And I love the piano. The piano is my favorite instrument, actually. Yeah.
Ah, maybe
I
you
thought
were
about
a pianist in another life or something.
My husband is a pianist and my son, the youngest, too. So I always hear piano. I don't know. I tried when I was in the US. My American mom. I have an
Mm-hmm.
American mom.
Oh, that's
She
cute.
is and a cello teacher. She's so beautiful, and she tried to give me some lessons, and then for some reason I couldn't continue. But I would have loved to. Maybe I still have time to learn, right? But
Yeah,
I really love to listen to piano. I didn't think about that.
it sounds quite aligned. So,
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 yeah.
so do you feel like we should do some cards? Do you feel like doing that now? Maybe do
Yeah.
like a collective reading for everybody who's listening and see what comes through. Like, do you think we could do a couple of cards? Like, do you often
Yes.
do one for relationships and one for like business, or how do you normally do it?
What I normally do is I draw one card, but sometimes I feel that there have to be has to be
Mhm.
another one. So then I
Mhm.
draw two. It happened once that we drew four cards, and that was, oh my gosh, really, oh my goodness! But it was only one time.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but it was really every question went deeper and deeper and deeper, and it was related to the same topic. So it was amazing. So maybe this time we could just let's have a general one if you like. We
Mhm.
have a general one, and then maybe we can pick a relationship,
Mhm.
business, career.
And maybe like health and lifestyle or
I
soul,
was,
like
I was thinking about that, and you said it. Oh, so maybe we can pick four: one general,
okay.
relationship, career, and health. Yeah.
Okay, yes, sounds great. So, for everybody listening, if you want to pause it now and grab a pen and paper, it might be helpful to jot down the questions or anything that comes through with that. Would you say that could be helpful? I guess it's just you'd encourage people to tune into what comes through, and if it doesn't apply, sort of let it fly. You know, if the question. Sometimes I listen to collective readings and I know when certain things are for me. You know, I get that sort of feeling like, oh, this is about this, or you know.
Yeah. So what I always suggest is to be really open, right? And not judgmental.
Mhm.
Because maybe in that moment we're like, oh, it doesn't apply to me. But then maybe after 2 days you're like, oh, there was something there, right?
Aha,
Just
good
just
one.
ponder the question and let it be in the back of your mind. If you know that it applies right away, I would suggest to just get 15 minutes by yourself and journal about it,
Mhm.
really write down everything. Or there are people that don't like journaling, and I suggest to some of my clients don't like journaling. So what I do, I ask them to use their phone and just talk, record what they're
Ah,
saying. If you say out loud anyway, and then you re-listen to it, there is always some little gems.
ah,
So I would just suggest to be open-minded, not judgmental, and just receive it and just see what happens. Yeah.
okay. Yes, please. So we're starting with a card for a general question that may apply to any area.
Okay. Let's
Exciting.
just Let's see. When I feel, also sometimes a card just drops out, and this is the card. Okay. So the card is number 36, and it says, what will you gain from doing it?
I got that card when you pulled one when we had our first meeting. That is so weird. That is out of 52 cards. That's incredible.
And of
Phenomenal.
course, in general, I think that we always have something in our minds and we are questioning, should we do it or not? But maybe sometimes the right question is not, should I do it or not? What will I gain? And also for me is really connect. What is your body telling you? If you see yourself doing it, do you feel an opening in your body? Do you feel that your cells are like, ooh, yeah, let's do it? I think that we all know, right? Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I feel, and of course I'm very, very connected with my intuition, but I feel that also the newbie, the people that maybe think I'm not very intuitive. For instance, my husband says I'm not very intuitive, and I'm like, no, you are very intuitive. You just decide not to listen to your intuition, but you are, because you know. We all know, but maybe is the thing that we need to do is like, can I trust it? Should I trust it? And then I always say, just experiment, just be open and do and see what happens if you do listen to it. So for this question, I will say, okay, what will you gain from doing it? Just tune in and say, if your body is a little bit lighter, if you're like if you have a smile on your face, then maybe it means that maybe it's a good thing if you do it, right? Or if you feel really heavy, maybe you won't gain so much. Maybe you will gain some trouble from doing it.
Yeah.
So just connect with that. That's the so connecting with your soul means really connecting with the energy of yourself, right? So just feel. It's the feeling, right? And then we
Yeah,
can
I
go.
love that.
Then we can go in our head. Okay, if I do this, and then we can do the pro and cons list, and we do. But I really highly suggest you just feel, stay in your body and feel.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yes.
So that was, yes, number 36, because the number is important too, I think. And what we
Yes.
gain from doing it. Yes.
So 36 is a number 9 in numerology. So that is about transformation, isn't it? Number 9. It's like,
So, okay. Should we do relationship first?
yes, yes, let's please.
Okay. Ooh, this one doesn't.
So this, I guess, could be relationship to self or to a friend or to a partner
Yeah.
or a work. Whoever comes to mind first, would you say, or how?
Yes. Yes. And let's see what the question says. So you
Yes,
give us
of
uh,
course. I'm
more
jumping
information.
ahead. Sorry.
Let's be here. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So it's number 45. And it says, what are you passionate about? We don't talk about passion in relationship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we think about the relationship with yourself, I don't know why I felt that is relationship with yourself. This one is really, are you doing things that bring you joy? Are you doing something that you get up in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm so excited to do this. Yeah, that's what feels for me. Or relationship with love life. Yeah, that too. But I don't know, I have the feeling that is really do a little bit of introspection of, are you really put in the time to do things that you're really passionate about. Sometimes we just forget, right? And one question that I ask a lot to my clients is really, what are your burning desires? And passion, for me, passion and desire are so connected. And most of the time, people, I don't know, because we forget, because we are like, we need to do this and this and that and that. And then there's no space for the passion, but that's the passion. And passion, purpose, and pleasure are the three pillars of my coaching, because when you are passionate about something and you allow yourself to do it, then most likely you're doing something that has a purpose for you, right? And it brings you pleasure.
That
So
is delicious. I love that, Christiana. Really
yeah.
cool.
So again was number 45, again a 9.
Yes.
What are you passionate about? Good.
Mm,
So now we can move on. Did we say career, business?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. This one. 1 second. Ooh, it's a 27. It's a 9 again. So I'm like,
No way. I had a feeling we were going to get 3 9s. I was like, I bet we get 3 9s.
and this one says something very important. Who or what did you give your power to?
Oh,
Hmm.
who or what?
Did you give your power to? Again, here I think, what are you passionate about? Are you doing what you're passionate about? Or you're giving away your power, so you're not? It's interesting. What comes up for you? Can I ask what
For
comes up for you?
me, I think it's easy to give your power away when we compromise ourselves, because the mind gets in the way, and which it does for me anyway sometimes, and I think that I have to go and do something else rather than, I think my priorities get jumbled.
Yeah,
And I need to sort of come back to myself and come back to center and
yeah,
reassess my priorities,
yeah,
because I put too much importance on things maybe that don't need that much energy, you know, like I get
yeah,
sidetracked or what have you. So, yeah, I think these questions are really good to come back to, because it does, I think, if with the first questions about what you're passionate about, and what you were saying about the pillars of your business, it's sort of like one's internal flame. And if that flame goes out, then
mm,
our the oven goes out in the kitchen. It's like our energy is diminished. So the power goes out. So unless we need to keep our fire burning through nourishing ourselves by feeding ourselves with those things. That's how I feel. So yeah, I think sometimes my thoughts get in the way and take my energy away. Like I overthink things, or I have the wrong perspective, and I need to kind of step away and come back to it with a fresh set of eyes and tend to my fire.
yeah, yeah.
What do you
And
think?
I want to add something here with this question. I think that then it's very important to ask yourself also, what does it mean for me to feel power? What is my power? When do I feel that I am empowered? Because then it give us a little bit more of information, right? Because when
Mm,
maybe then you're questioning something, you are in your head, you know that something doesn't feel good because you're not in your power. When you are empowered, when you are in your power, Like, yeah, okay, I see that maybe it's difficult, but I really want to do it, right? You feel a different kind of energy. So what I would like the listener to do is really connect to how do you feel when you know that you are in your own power. So then you know if you gave away your power or not, right?
Yeah,
That
beautiful.
the
Yes.
listener to,
My
yeah.
dog is behind me. She's been snoring and now she's sneezing. So I don't know if that's coming through, but that's
You.
what the background noises are, if that can be heard. I forgot to
Yeah.
move her away. Her bed is just behind me. So she's
Fine.
sneezing away. Oh
Maybe she's
dear.
pondering the question too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so then we can move on to the last question, the health and well-being.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you. That they've all been really insightful. It's really fun.
good. Let's see what it comes. So again, the same question from the beginning.
No way.
What are you passionate about? Oh my goodness. So the fourth nine and the same one. So it means that this one is really, really an important question right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. That is really cool. And I kind of wrote out some rough questions for our meeting, for today. And one of the questions was about passion, and I wrote passion in capital letters. And it says, what, what it's all about, all these questions about what you're passionate about. Slightly aligned. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And for me, passion is really important, but I'm Italian, so I'm very, very, very passionate. And
Yeah.
it's important for me to really understand what other people are passionate about. Because if, for instance, I'm telling you a silly example, when I go have coffee at the
Mm.
place, I see that the person that's making my coffee is super excited and chatty, and eh, she's putting love in my coffee. I'm like, yes, I'm so happy, right? But sometimes you go in other places and people are just doing the job they have to do and they don't put anything there. It's like, oh my goodness, that's so. It's a pity, right? It's a pity because
Mm.
if we really can get in tune with what we're passionate about, maybe we are still doing something that we don't like, because not everybody's lucky to be able to do the job that they like, right?
Yes.
But if we allow ourselves to get in touch with that passion and bring a little piece of that in what we do, everything changes immediately. So for me, passion is really key. It's really a super important thing.
I
So it's
agree.
funny that I wrote the card twice and you wrote passion, capital letter.
In capitals. Yeah. So it's definitely 4 9s. It feels like a really powerful point of transition, into another phase. And
Yeah.
for me, I guess I have always a lot of ideas, a lot of different things that I could be doing,
Yes.
a busy mind. So, yeah, dropping into the heart and really, I guess, following what is gives me the most joy, the most passion, is what's really wanting my attention now, for me. That's what I'm getting from it. So yeah, I'm excited and really want to ponder these some more. But very clear, like how can that be out of 52 cards?
It's
Oh,
amazing. Sometimes I have it happen quite a few times with a client that the same cards came out 2 or even 3 times.
Mhm.
because there was the resistance piece that I told you earlier. If you get the saying card, it means that maybe there is something really that you're resisting, and then you really need to pay attention to it.
Mhm.
Of course, here it was the general. No, the passionate one was the relationship, and then the health, right? So in these two aspects,
Mhm.
but yeah, passion is something we need to pay attention to. And again, I
Definitely.
think it's really, really related to the intuition, because when you are in tune with your intuition, you understand right away what is good and not, what gives you that, oh, this is juicy, this is something I want
Yes.
to do, right? So that's
Yeah. So
passion is a
how do people break through? Is it simply through the questioning that people break through when they do have these barriers coming up, or this resistance? Like, how do they get past that wall? Is there a special magic potion for that?
I think that the special magic potion is really uh, what I told you earlier, is that sometimes we're not ready, right, to act. But the magic is really when we understand that, yeah, this is the right time, because sometimes it's not the right time. But when we connect
Mm,
with that, and we're like, okay, and maybe the resistance is still there because you still have to look into the layers, and that's not the right time. So you don't have to force yourself. Of course, with the coaching, you have someone that guides you, so the process is faster, and
mm,
maybe a little bit safer, I would say, because sometimes when we do things ourselves, maybe it could be really it's too much sometimes to just get in touch with places where we're like, oh my gosh, I was not ready to see all of this.
mhm,
But the magic, I think, is really in steps. I mean, the awareness. I know that I don't want to keep doing this because otherwise it doesn't serve me anymore. So having the realization that if you keep doing that, it's not serving you and you're not progressing, right? You're not gonna go and reach your full potential. And understanding also if you need help or not. And right, sometimes it's we're not used to ask for help, and I think that we need to understand that we are meant to ask for help and give help. We have two hands. We can ask, give, receive, but that's I think that the magic is being willing to becoming vulnerable and be authentic and tell
mhm.
your own truth to yourself and to other people. That's the only thing. And we all go through periods of time where we are very resistant. We're really logically trying to get all of the excuses that no, I need to stay here. So then we kind of allow the resistance to have a justification. We justify the resistance, but then when we're really able to just get all the masks away and just connect, and we're like, yeah, I need to do this. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be really difficult sometimes, but it's really connecting with who do you want to be. If you want to be something different, you have to go through. And in that moment when you decide that, okay, no more, that's the magic. That's just like, you're gonna do it. You're just gonna
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
right?
That's when everything can melt and you can get through that threshold, right?
Even if it's difficult, you're gonna do
Mm.
it.
Yeah, decisions are such powerful things, aren't they? Like, just like questions, I feel like once you decide, it's such a doorway can open and the universe
If you're
knows what you want. It can deliver. If you
absolutely, yeah.
So you are coaching clients all around the world. Are you you have people can have a coaching session wherever they live?
Yeah, I have a client. Now we're done, but I coached her for a long time, and she lives in Africa. Then I have people in England, in Italy, of course, in Canada, in the US, all over the US, of course. Yeah, and it's the
Incredible.
fun part. It's I love it. Yeah, and I have some people that question me and say, but don't you miss the in person? Don't you miss something when you do it online? And I'm like, I don't think so. The only thing that I want is that at the end, I really would like to meet my clients in person, because, like, I have an amazing friendship with Donna. You know her, you
Yes.
interview her. And I really wish I could hug her because I love her
Yeah.
so much. That's the only thing. But the power of the coaching is still there. The power of the relationship, even when you connect with someone, even with you, we connect. You're like, oh gosh, it's beautiful. I think it's a true and authentic relationship, right? The only thing
Yeah.
that is that you cannot hug the person, but it works. It
Oh,
works really
that's
well.
beautiful.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun for me to be able to know, oh, I have a soul sister in Australia. I have this person there. And that we are connected, right? The
Yeah,
word
no, it's
and
beautiful, and you're sending, you have this powerful effect on helping people all around the world. We're like a network of, the energy
yeah,
flows out beyond where you are.
yeah, absolutely. So it's
Incredible.
it's the I'm not a fan of technology, but in this in this aspect, yes.
Yeah, I often struggle with it too. But
Good.
yeah, it makes us all, there is the potential there to all be closer and more connected. So it is pretty special that we can, you're in Spain and I'm in Australia and we can talk like this. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. It is.
Yeah. I will leave all of your links for your work, and if people wanting to own their own deck of the 52 keys, they can then also
Yeah,
purchase them now, like a pre-order type thing. Is that what
yes,
you're?
yes. Yes, now I have a pre-order, and I can send you the link, of course. And right now, if you pre-order the deck, I'm
Mhm.
gonna give the people that are gonna order the cards, I'm gonna give the online journal. I also have an online journal, because that's what I do with my clients when they start coaching with me. Since I use the cards, I give them the journal. I'm gonna give it to the people that are gonna order the cards, so they can have
Oh,
this tool.
that's a
It's
beautiful.
really accompanies very well the deck. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That's a beautiful gesture. And yeah, so I'll leave all of those details. Really loved going through all that you do and chatting with you. You've got such a beautiful presence. And is there anything else that you want to share about coaching or about you and your work?
So I was once part of a networking group. It's
Hmm.
called BNI. It's very famous. And I was in Italy, and they asked me, what is coaching? Because they didn't know. And one thing that I say is that I think that coaching should be mandatory for everyone. That's the thing. I'm like, if you're on the verge of thinking, should I invest? Because of course there is an investment in yourself. Just do it. Of course, you need to find the right person. So what I would suggest to people that are like considering and guessing if a coaching program is the right thing for them, to have a conversation with the person. Because for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's very important to just, if there is a connection, then you can have a really powerful coaching, because in coaching you have to be very vulnerable. It's something that it's important. So just explore, if you and connect with your question, and see if there is something that in your life you feel that you're meant to do something else. Just go for it. Just explore and give yourself the gift of doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. And I'll leave all your links. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. So thank you so much,
Same for me.
Anna.
Thank you so much. It
Thank
was really
you.
a pleasure.